Modern women tutorials. Female logic. No, I don't even think that's right. Female explaining things or expressing. I can't think of a title right now. The point is, based off of this comment in this video, ladies have a habit of not knowing or not noticing that they, like when they talk to you, they're only telling you 50% of what they're thinking. Like they'll tell you they'll tell you a thought of something, they're thinking of something, and then the rest is feelings, like how the situation made them feel. So, for example, if a lady is telling you a problem, she'll explain some of the details of the problem, but her main thing is how it felt, like how she was scared or how she was mad or something like that, right? And it's feelings, right? It's internal. That means only she is aware of those feelings because she's the one who has the feeling, right? But because she's feeling it, right? She's experiencing the feelings, the emotions. And I know as kids tend to do this as well. They project it upon the world. They assume when they're sad, everybody else should be sad as well. Just like when a kid cries, another kid will sympathetically cry. They'll cry in response. And I'm not trying to say ladies or kids. I'm just saying that it's something that I notice when it comes to emotions, right? Ladies have a habit of telling you half of the story in facts, in details, and the rest is emotions. Like, I felt the person was gonna hurt me. Okay, you felt it, but did they actually hurt you? No, they were like across the street. Okay, so did they look at you? Like, you're trying to find out what's going on, like what's the real problem, but they want to focus on the feelings, right? A lot more often than what actually happened. So it's more about how they felt about a problem than the problem itself. And I talk to ladies a lot, way too much. So I'm very used to knowing that, unfortunately, half of what they tell me is literally just that, half of the problem, and then I have to figure out the other half because it's literally feelings based. So it's like, okay, I need the full story. I don't know what completely happened. Like, I've been in multiple situations where, like, I'm literally asking a simple question of like, what happened, and the response I get was like emotions, like this happened, and then I was scared, and this and that, and it's like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, this is a bad situation. Yeah, scared, panic. I get it, but what happened? Because I can't help if I don't know what happened. I was definitely in a situation where it's like someone was on the floor. Don't know why they were on the floor, and I was asking a simple question like, how did the person end up on the floor? And because of the emotions, this was a female I was dealing with, and the emotions was more focused on how they felt about the situation, less about answering my simple questions, which was, how did this person get on the floor? Because I don't know what I can do in the situation other than, obviously call an ambulance or something like that and whatnot. Then it got worse because I didn't have my phone. I needed their phone, and I needed them to unlock it because they had, they have a lock. So I needed them to unlock the phone. Then I need to find the thing for the phone. Like, where's the app that you pressed for the phone? It should be in the main menu. It should be right there in the bottom center of the phone, right? So I could instantly call. But instead, I don't want to get into too much details, but needless to say, it took longer than it should have had for me to make a phone call on somebody's phone. They should have been able to quickly get me, up 911, right? Instantly. So, and a lot of it was because of the emotions of the situation, that they kept skipping the details of like what happened. Did somebody hit the person? Did the person fall on their own? Like, specific details. Did the person just lie down on the ground? Like, I need to know if they fell. If they fell, that's an important detail, because that means there could be concussions, there could be bleeding, there could be a lot. A big adult male falling to the ground, it's gonna cause some damage. So I need to know that small detail. If the person just sat down and lied down on the ground, it's like, okay, then they're not in like immediate danger. I don't have to like spring into action and use some of my ex-military, training to assist. Obviously, I should check the person and make sure they're okay. But anyway, that's point is when emotions are being being expressed, but unnecessarily, or they're not even being expressed because you're too busy feeling the emotions that you can't get the words out to a simple question, as in what just happened. And that's something I noticed a lot when it comes to the female gender. Guys, we tend to be straightforward. Because here's the thing, we tend to give too much information as guys. We give details. We'll tell you what time something happened. Oh yeah, this person swung at me at 3:30. Then we were fighting, and then by the time the fight was over, it was already like 4 o'clock. Like that's how long the fight lasted, or some shit like that. It's like, damn, that was a long fight. Certain details. Oh, this person, this and that. Oh, I saw this person. I noticed they grabbed my wallet. Some details. The point is to be so much details because it's more about what happened, less about like how they felt. Like I'm not gonna spend time talking about how I felt, getting attacked and having to defend myself. Like I'm more focused on like, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened. Most stuff is pretty straightforward. It's like I was in a fight, and here we are now. Right? I can give you more details, of course. I can describe the person and whatnot. But when it comes to the ladies, y'all have a habit of thinking that when y'all angry, your partner knows you're angry and that you're doing a great job of expressing your anger to them, like through words. You're probably not, because you're probably talking to them calmly, or maybe you're talking to them condescendingly, right? Like you're talking down to them, which will make them feel, right? Feelings, right? It's important. Guys have feelings too. Make them feel like you're nagging them. So now, since they feel you're nagging them, they don't even notice that you're mad about something. You want them to help you with it, obviously, typically, when you're talking to somebody. But because you're expressing your anger in a nagging way, it's just coming off nagging, not as, oh, you're mad because something happened, something's bothering you. I should care that something's bothering you. Right now, what you're doing by nagging, instead of expressing that you're mad because something happened, you feel hurt, you need help, blah, 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 right? So that way I can be empathetic, so I can care. It's hard to care if I feel, right? Feelings, guys have feelings, right? If I feel that you're making it where I'm the problem when the problem was actually something else. Like something else. Like maybe a raccoon destroyed the trash in the backyard or something, and now it's like, okay, now we got a mess. You're mad about that, but because you're nagging at me about it, not just letting me know what happened, the raccoon just stand there and you're having a bad day because raccoons and shit are fucking things up, and for me to come and rescue and help save the day type of stuff, you instead of nagging and making it like it's my fault, like if I'm the reason that happened, it's like that creates a problem. And that's part of the issues that most ladies have, is that they think they're expressing the right feelings, emotions, or even think that they're communicating with the guy they're with properly. Guys are pretty simple. We you tell us up is up, it's up, right? You tell us down, it's down. You tell us no, it's no. Most of us, we know better, right? Most of us have experience to know that not everything y'all tell us is what you say, but that comes from experience. But all in all, is like the understanding that y'all don't always tell guys exactly what's wrong, how you feel. Sometimes y'all use the wrong words to express certain feelings. Like you might be annoyed, but then you say mad instead. And if he's used to you saying, oh, I'm mad, and he gets used to it, right? Then eventually he's gonna start shutting down when it comes to that. So whenever you use the word I'm mad, he's just gonna be like, oh, there we go again, and he's just gonna ignore you. You can't blame him for that. You gotta blame yourself for constantly using the I'm mad for like every time something goes wrong. Like when things don't go your way, you always want to talk about you're mad. You're always complaining about something, right? And the thing is, as being adults, is we're supposed to be able to solve our own problems. I have no problem ladies coming to me with, asking me for solutions to problems. I'm more than willing to help because I do have solutions. But at the same time, I like to see everyone as an equal human being and believe that everyone is capable of figuring things out on themselves. Most importantly, because Google exists, so I shouldn't have somebody constantly asking me questions that they can easily just go Google. Like whatever problems you have, ladies, y'all can literally go on Google and Google it. Talk to your phone. Be like, Siri, I have a problem, and talk to Siri. That's my advice right now. Talk to your phone before you talk to your man, because a lot of times y'all not really that good at expressing certain things that y'all should be better at expressing. Especially when you hear terms like emotional intelligence, which is a contradiction, but I like to believe that it's possible. Like it's an idea. It'd be nice for some people to have emotional intelligence. But for me, when you combine emotions with intellect, you get no logic. You get the opposite of intellect. This is the world we live in. Too much emotional intelligence is what's ruining the world, not lack of emotional intelligence. We lived in a world with less emotional intelligence, and it was a better world. Was it perfect? No, of course not. Nothing is. But it definitely was better. It worked better. It functioned better. There was structure. But now, all this emotional intelligence, feelings, emotions, get in touch with your feminine side, whatever, like feminine energy, masculine energy, all this extra shit that everybody's trying to experiment with, trying to practice, try to do. It's creating a lot of problems because, one, guys are supposed to have more masculine energy than feminine, and females are supposed to have more female energy than masculine. Yes, we're supposed to have a little bit of both, a little bit of masculine and feminine energy, but not so much that it overrides. Like guys are supposed to function on masculinity, females are supposed to function on femininity. That's why I do like the fact that we use the term energy, because energy. It's your fuel source. You as the female gender have to function on feminine energy. Stop trying to function on masculine energy. It does not work for you. You think it does, but it doesn't. It's like putting water in the gas tank of your car. It's like putting water in your Tesla, thinking that it's gonna work. It might work for a couple hours, but eventually it's not gonna work because it's an electric car, not a water-powered car. Like that's the thing. Just like positive energy and negative energy, right? You want good things to happen in your life, then you have to have positivity. You can't be negative. You can't be having negative emotions all the time because your life is just going to be negative. When you have positivity in your life a lot, positive emotions, even when you have bad times, dark times, they're not that bad because at least because you bring the positive into that negative. So if bad things are happening around you, as long as you used your positive, at least you brought some positivity with you, and slowly that positivity will grow and make your environment better. At least look at it as like a shield, right? You being positive will protect you from all the negativity. If you're negative, and you're surrounded by negativity, you're just engulfing yourself in just further negativity. You're just going to absorb all that bullshit, right? So the same thing with talking to your significant other. It's important to learn how they talk, how they express emotions and stuff. Y'all ladies, y'all know how y'all think, how y'all act, how y'all feel, but y'all need to know how a guy thinks, how a guy acts, how he feels. Y'all love talking about emotions, but y'all always overlook guys' emotions. Yes, we have this thing where we're like, oh, guys shouldn't be emotional, blah, blah, blah. Yes, guys shouldn't be emotional. Not that guys don't have emotions. It's they shouldn't be emotional, as in the emotions shouldn't control them. They should control the emotions, right? Just like a person should control what they eat so they don't, overeat and become obese and stuff like that, right? That way they can eat healthy and be healthy. You know, self-control. That's all we talk about when it comes to being a man, right? In general, is self-control. Control yourself. Because as the male species, for example, yes, we're very powerful. We're tall. We're strong. Yes, we can be very violent, but we can also be the opposite of all that. We can be small, soft, weak, right? The thing is having control and deciding when to use what. I mean, if there's an animal, I got to be strong. I can't be weak at that point. But when I want a lady, yeah, I gotta be soft. I can't be a Hulk. I can't be a beast, a monster. And that applies to you too, ladies. Y'all tend to want to be beast mode and they want to fight. It's like every conversation there has to be some type of conflict. It's like, why can't it be a discussion where we solve problems? I love solving problems. That's what I do on my TikTok. I see problems and I come up with a solution. And I make videos talking about the problems and solutions to the problems. Because I prefer solutions. I don't like problems. I'm just like everyone else. I like when things are nice. I believe in that concept of being a warrior in a garden than a gardener in war. So I'd rather be prepared for war and never fight war than to never be prepared for it, right? So the same goes for conversations. Same goes for expressing your emotions and feelings. You have to have that mindset of like, okay, what terms and slang. Sometimes you even have to speak slang. You might use, like, if you pay attention to your boyfriend or husband's, how him and his friends talk to each other. If you use the same type of terms and analogies, you'll better communicate. That's the thing. If you pay attention to your boyfriend or husband's, interactions with their friends, with other guys, you'll see how they communicate, how they talk, and then you should learn how to talk like that. That way, if you ever need to speak to him and get something across that's very important, which every conversation you have should be important anyway. Not saying that no conversation is important, obviously. You can get your point across as quickly as efficient. That's another thing. Y'all ladies love to take like 30 minutes to an hour to talk about a problem. It should take you like 3 minutes to express a problem. Some guy slapped me in my ass and I'm mad about it. Okay, simple enough. Say less. That's the thing. Less is more, ladies. A lot of times less is more. But sometimes more is more because y'all do have a habit of giving us less. Give us small little details and then a whole bunch of emotion. Like, oh, I'm mad, I'm this and that. And it's like, okay, I can't do much with emotions, but what I can do is, you said some guy slapped your ass. I can work with that. I can't work with how you felt about it. Like, that's nothing I can do. Because it's feelings. It's not something physical that I can work with.